What's up, everybody? Whether you're tent camping or living in your van, having the right gear can make a huge difference. And it doesn't have to be expensive. In this video, I'm sharing 5 items that have really elevated my camping experience throughout the years. Plus, we're going to go over a couple of items that just come in handy along the way. Let's get into the video. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, this is Camping with Shane. In today's video, we're going to be going over some items that I've found really useful over the past couple of years of camping in various setups, from my Ford Focus to my Toyota Sienna and now my 2022 Ram ProMaster. So starting off, I got this item about a year ago and it has been a game changer. It is a water pump. It looks just like this. I got it for only $6 on Amazon. And let me show you how it works. So you can pretty much use a jug of any size, but I got a 7-gallon jug right here. This is a nice jug because it has a big nozzle. So if you are filling up bigger items like a big water bottle or just wanting to, get a lot of water out of it, this is super nice because you can just dump it out and it's got a great flow. But for the water pump, all you do is just feed the tube down. And it fits on this jug pretty good. Usually when I'm camping, I'll just set this out. I'll put some tape on it just so it's nice and secure. And then all you gotta do, is press the button on top. And it starts dispensing water. This setup has been a game changer all the way from just washing your hands, because you just turn it on, it's got a constant stream. You just wash your hands real good, doing dishes. It works really well because, again, it's a constant stream. And then also, if you put drinkable water in here, it's super easy just to fill up your water bottles, filling up a little pot, if you're boiling water, whatever you need to do. And it's only $6 for this unit right here, and it's rechargeable. It lasts quite a long time. I probably went through at least a full 7-gallon jug without having to recharge it, so yeah, it is definitely probably one of my favorite items that I've gotten. All right, our next item is this Coleman butane stove. It uses these little butane canisters, and let me tell you, I was living in my van for about 4 months, and I was using this stove pretty much every day to make coffee, at least twice a day, maybe 3 times sometimes, heating up some chili, heating up hot dogs, just cooking my meals. And I only went through probably 6 of these canisters, and they're only $3 a piece. So, it's super efficient and it's super small, super easy to store. The canister just pops right in, and then you just lock it down. Yeah, this is a super great stove to have because it's just super compact. And yeah, it works great. You can get a pretty good flame on it, fire it up. Just super easy, just pops right on every time. And then just pops right off. And I think I only got this for about $20, $25 at Walmart. So yeah, this is a super, super great buy. All right, our next item is super awesome. When I found out about it and I actually got one and started using it, I fell in love. It is a solar shower. Now, I couldn't actually find the bag, but I found the hose because I recently got back home after living in my van and I kind of took everything out. And then I don't know where it went, but I'm going to pop up a picture on the screen. So the solar shower is pretty much how it works, is it has, this tube that's connected to a bag. And one side of the bag will be like black, so it absorbs heat. And then mine is a 5-gallon bag. I got it for about $15 at Walmart. And pretty much you just fill it up with water and then lay it down on like a rock, or you can hang it on your mirror, like your side mirror. Just hang it somewhere in the sun, and then you can just let it sit there for pretty much however long you want. I did it when I would let it sit in the sun for about an hour. It would definitely get pretty warm, not like hot, but it would be not cold. Because I would also, when I use it, I fill it up on like streams a lot if I'm camping next to a stream and it's super cold water. But if you let it sit for like 2 hours, the water actually gets like pretty hot, and if you let it sit for longer, you can get it boiling, like not boiling, but you can get it really hot. So I absolutely love my solar shower. Now it only works, if you're in a, sunny environment, if it's sunny out. And even if you don't mind having a cold shower, it just works great, because what you do is you just hang it on a tree or hang it on your back door or somewhere up high, and then it's gravity fed, so then you just shower yourself down. So it's super great even if you don't care about having a warm shower, but you can have a warm shower, and it really doesn't use too much water depending on which hose you have, how the water comes out. Because just with my 5-gallon bag, I was able to take a shower, and then 2 of my friends actually took pretty full showers after me, just on that same 5 gallons. And it was pretty nice, like just having that nice warm shower when you're out camping in the mountains. So I'll definitely recommend getting a solar shower. You can pick them up on Amazon, you can pick them up at Walmart. They're super nice. Our next item is a nice table, because it is super important, especially if you're tent camping or you're, in a smaller vehicle where you don't really have a nice big kitchen. A nice table where you can, have your cook stove, have a little place to, prep your food. You can have your water station right there with your pump on it, just ready to go, wash your hands. So you got your nice little kitchen area. And then also I'm gonna add a little bonus item in with this one. These like plastic drawers that you can get from like Walmart, Target, pretty much anywhere for pretty cheap. I think I got this one for $10 or $15. They're super awesome for when you're, going out on a camping trip, because if you're gonna plan on to be cooking and stuff, you can just pretty much store all of your kitchen items in here, like your food, your pots and pans, and just whatever you're gonna be using, your utensils and stuff. So you can just pack it up all in here, and then everything's here. And then when you get to camp, you can just throw this under your table, and then boom, you got like a full kitchen right here. So yeah, nice little table and some plastic drawers go a long way, because a lot of campsites do have like tables, if you're staying at like a paid for campsite. But if you're going out there into the desert, into the mountains, you're probably not going to have those at the campsite. All right, our final item is some sort of power station. So you can either go with some portable power banks like this one, some smaller ones that you can recharge off your car, or you can go with a little bit bigger of one that will power your whole trip without having to worry about charging it up. And if you do need to charge it up with this bigger power bank, you can bring along a little foldable solar panel. So if you're really looking to have a decent amount of power while you're out camping, a little portable power station is super awesome to have. This is the Allway 560 watt hour. I've done a full review on it. I'll link that right down below or above, wherever it happens to be, but that's on my channel. But yeah, this is super awesome if you're just, looking to charge your phone, laptop, if you have a drone that you're using, just whatever you need power for. I know when I'm camping, a lot of times my friends are always coming up to me asking to charge their things, just do whatever, because they usually have to start their car, or if they have some cars don't have like a live 12-volt battery that you can just charge your phone on without having to turn the car on. You don't even need something big like this. You can go with a couple of small portable power stations if you're just looking to charge your phone. This one is actually a solar one, but the solar doesn't really charge too fast. But I got this for free at work at my previous job. But yeah, nice power station. And then you can also pair it with a solar panel. I got this 100 watt solar panel for only $60. So this total setup was about $260. So it's really not bad if you're looking to get out there for a couple of days and have some reliable power. And you can get a smaller setup too. Like you can get a smaller one of these, just like a couple 100 watt hours, and then like a 50 watt hour panel. It just depends on what your needs are, because you really don't need a ton of power when you're out camping, but it is nice to have. Now we're going to get into some bonus items that you don't really need, but they are super nice to have, and they're again on that cheaper side where you don't have to spend too much money. So number one is a decent flashlight. When you're camping, especially once it gets dark, if you don't have proper lighting, you know, it's going to feel pretty dark out there if you don't have a fire. So you're going to want a nice flashlight to be able to see your surroundings. You know, if you have to do something outside at night, it's nice to have some, you know, just a good source of light. And then also you can get like a rechargeable overhead light for your van or your tent, you know, whatever, that you can just keep charge up, and then you can use it all night. I personally used one of those in my minivan, and it was great because I could just, you know, charge it up during the day, and it would last a couple of days without having to charge. And then it, you know, came with a remote, and then, you know, it just gives you some solid lighting, because that's super important. You know, anything, if you're living in your van or you're just camping, you're going to want to be able to see at nighttime. And then going along with lights is what I recently found out is about string lights. I mean, I've always known about, you know, string lights or like LED strips, but, you know, I really didn't like look in too much to them until recently, because you can actually run like string lights off of a little portable power station like this. So like about the last couple of months I was living in my van, it was super awesome to be able to just run the string lights off of this, because I just stringed them up in my van, and then just put this on like that little shelf, and then they barely use any power. So like this power bank would last like 2 days, and I would pretty much run them all the time, just have them on, sets the mood. And, you know, you can use those outside, you can use them in your tent, you know, really just set the vibe. And you can get string lights for like $10, spend like $10-15 on a little power station, and boom, you got string lights. So those are my top 5 budget-friendly items for camping. If you've got any go-to gear that is super useful that I didn't mention in the video, let me know down below, because, you know, there is a ton of things that help out when you're camping, tons of gadgets and items out there. I just wanted to highlight some of my favorites that I use a lot when I'm out camping or on the road. If you liked the video, feel free to drop a like and a comment. Let me know what you think about it. And subscribe for more. I'm going to be posting a ton more DIY van life and camping videos, you know, aimed at more towards the beginner side of things, because I'm not too much of a beginner camper, but I'm really just starting my journey into van life and building out my van, because I just recently got a 2022 Ram ProMaster a year ago that I was living in for 4 months. So, and I got a ton of videos on all that. So if you want to check out some more videos, check out the channel, and yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Peace out.